So while all of the conferences were happening, a week before, I actually heard about a lot of the Square Enix announcements that people wanted me and the Geek News panel to discuss. And so that's what this video is basically going to be about. I tried to find a video of like a Square Enix press conference and wasn't able to track one down. So I'm basically going to be covering the announcements that people wanted to hear about, and we're going to leave it at that. So I know that a couple of people were asking me specifically about my opinions on Hitman and Deus Ex and all that, and I'm just going to tell you right here now, I'm not interested in either of those properties. And you know, I watched through the trailers last year and just wasn't interested. I wasn't interested in the Hitman movie or anything like that. So with that said, let's actually go ahead and get into the other requests. First of all, was Final Fantasy 15. People wanted to know my thoughts on it. I think it still looks good. We were able to see it at the Xbox conference and the VR experience with Sony, but it's still looking good. And I was able to track down a more up to speed trailer of the story. I'm looking forward to the story and what it has to hold, because unlike most, I don't think Final Fantasy is as dead a franchise as people would like me to admit. I think that this has potential. I just think it's going to have a major weight around its neck because it's taken so long for this game to come out. But overall, yeah, it looks really, really good visually, as well as audio sounds great, and the story looks like it has some potential. So at that point, I'm not disappointed with what I'm seeing, and I can't wait to get my hands on it in September. The next one was a Final Fantasy announcement, and it was Final Fantasy XII Zodiac Age. Oh. I kind of wish they hadn't made this announcement. Because I will admit, like, part of me was sitting here going, well, you know, I'm on Final Fantasy VI right now, and I've got so many other games to go. Can I just skip 12? Because I really don't want to go into that game again. And again, I'm going to make my opinion clear. Visually, it's a good game. Audio-wise, it's a good game. I didn't have any problems with the performances or anything like that. It's the gameplay and it's the story that drove me nuts on Final Fantasy XII. And so at that point, I was kind of hoping to be able to skip this, but now I guess I can't because it's coming out for PS4. And it's called Zodiac Age because they're actually going to implement the Zodiac job system, which is you could get a bonus edition for this in Japan, and it was not based on the license grid. It was based on this Zodiac job system. I don't know a whole lot of the details off the top of my head for that system, but supposedly a lot of people say that the gameplay is better with the job system instead of the license grid. And I guess all my opinion is yay, I don't have to deal with the license grid, but for all I know, this job system has a whole other slew of problems that I don't want to deal with. So, yay, it's coming out. But at the same time, I'm just like, can I not have Vaughn can I not have Vaughn as part of the story at all? Can we skip his lack of relevance and can we just move on to Balthier? So there you go. My thoughts are great. Good on you. 12 fans rejoice. You can get your hands on Zodiac Age for PS4. Obviously, I'll be getting my hands on it because this is probably going to be the way I do a playthrough of Final Fantasy XII, but I'm not exactly excited for it. The next thing that people wanted me to talk about was Kingdom Hearts 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue. Can we please shorten these subtitles? Can we really just do that? Because, oh man, they're starting to drive me nuts. A lot of the information that I was able to find on this is kind of scattered. So given what I've been able to take out of it, here's what I think is happening. First of all, we're going to get Dream Drop Distance HD. So that's the final handheld game being brought to a console for people to play. I do believe it's a playable game because they actually did talk about how the 3DS had a lot of touchscreen functionality and how they tried to reroute it to the PlayStation 4 touchscreen. But I wasn't able to confirm that, and I believe Aldo actually said that it was going to be a cutscene, but we'll find out in a little bit once we get some details clarified. We also got to see a scene with Aqua from Birth by Sleep, where she's in like this remote city kind of area and lamenting. And then also we got to see, I believe it was called Final Cover Black or something like that, where it was kind of a prologue telling the story of the foretellers, I think is what they're called, basically leading up into the events of Kingdom Hearts 3. And in fact, they made it very clear that this game primarily is to lead up into Kingdom Hearts 3 and get you up to speed with the story as it stands from those games, from that point. So I don't know if I still think you're going to have to play all the other games to be able to understand any of it. But I am glad that they're bringing Dream Drop Distance, the final handheld game, at least to consoles so that people can play it and see whether or not it's good or bad. But that's really my thoughts on it. I'm not the biggest Kingdom Hearts fan, honestly, but I already know that Andrea will get it, and so at that point, I'll play it, and we'll see if it's any good. But overall, great. Kingdom Hearts fans, rejoice! You've got at least something, because they didn't talk about Kingdom Hearts 3. So you've got at least something to work with until we get some more solid Kingdom Hearts 3 announcements. The next game was kind of Kingdom Hearts-esque in World of Final Fantasy, and I remember seeing this last year and being kind of wowed by it. This time around, we got a more in-depth trailer. And basically, I think the best way to describe it is it looks like Kingdom Hearts without the Disney. It's all of the various Roman numeral entries and their side games actually being brought into the story together, and you play as two, like a boy and a girl, trying to make sense of it all, trying to fix the problem that has merged all of their worlds together. One of the things I found very interesting was that the two characters you're playing have two separate models, like a full-on human-esque model and then a little chibi model, kind of resembling the sprite model from the previous Nintendo and Super Nintendo games. I like that concept, especially since we were able to see a lot of characters in that format too. We got to see a little Chibi Squall, Chibi Cloud, Chibi Celeste from Final Fantasy VI, Vivi from Final Fantasy IX, and even Faris from Final Fantasy V. But they kind of hinted there was a girl that came on the screen that almost looked like she would be a human form of Faris. So I'm wondering if they can also shift too. But overall, it looks like it's a very Kingdom Hearts-esque story. And I have a feeling I'm going to absolutely love the heck out of this game, just for the nostalgic value. And it did get a release date of October 25th, 2016. I can already tell you I'm going to review it, and I have a feeling it's going to be a real nostalgia trip for me. Like, I'll be shedding tears and all of that, but I'm already looking forward to reviewing World of Final Fantasy. So that's definitely on my list. And then finally, we got another trailer, I believe, for I Am Setsuna. And again, that game is just looking beautiful. This is the first entry into the Tokyo RPG Factory, and I can't think of any other word aside from beautiful to describe it. It brought tears to my eyes. I never thought I would see like a Final Fantasy-esque, like Final Fantasy 4 or 5 world brought to full 3D the way that was, and being able to see sprites like the airship or the airship they showed, and also seeing your sprites on the map, but also getting these full-on character-looking models from like Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross, and I do love the combat so far that looks very heavily inspired by Chrono Trigger. And the story already is, like, with the vague details we have, I'm absolutely excited because just the little moments where I guess the lead girl is saying, "Will you stay with me? Will you stay with me till the end?" Already just got me just down nostalgia lane. I have a feeling I will absolutely enjoy I Am Setsuna, and I am looking forward to reviewing it next month because it's coming out July 19th, I believe. And that's going to go ahead and do it. That was pretty much all of the Square Enix announcements that people wanted me to talk about. If you have any other additional ones, leave a comment below, and I'll bring it into the agenda for Saturday, where me and the Geek News crew will be talking about all of our E3 opinions on, who did the best, who did the worst, who was in between, and all of that fun stuff. But here's at least my opinions on it, and that's actually going to wrap up my E3 coverage. So overall, I was kind of right. I think E3 was going to be fairly light this year, and it feels like that, but again, that's going to go ahead and do it. And I hope you guys have enjoyed. I continue to appreciate you guys' contributions and suggestions to videos that I can do for the channel. And until the next review, I will see you guys next time.